All righty. Now we're just going to take a look at that virtual trunking protocol. We're going to go inside and we're going to take a look and see the important things that we need to see about that. Switch mode, is it in a domain? The revision number, not the revision number, the revision number, okay? To see if it's lower or higher. And at the very bottom, who just updated me? So these are the things you want to look at. This is what VTP does. On top of which, if we're in a domain, if I put Laz here and I put Susie down here, well, we're not in the same domain. But we're connected together. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a VLAN, a switch, VTP domain mismatch. VTP domain mismatch. Okay. So, but enough talk. Enough talk. Let's go inside and let's take a look at the VTP trunking protocol. All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are now in the virtual trunking protocol lab. Now, we just created our VLANs, we assigned them, we did all that good stuff, all right? But now let's take a look at this virtual trunking protocol. So we do a show, this is the top switch, switch 0, this one right here, okay? So we're gonna do show VTP stat, which stands for status, all right? If I were to tap that out, that's what it would say. All right, what information are we looking at here that's important? Well, one of the first things that we did in the previous lecture is we gave it a domain name. That's definitely what we wanted to do. And you can see the VTP operating mode is server. And remember, we talked about the operating modes, that there's 3: server, client, transparent. Server is going to update, send updates, and receive updates of its VLAN database, okay? Another important number that we want to look at, you see the revision number here is 0. Okay, so since it's 0, it will accept updates from the other switches. Okay, it will accept updates from the other switches. And you can see, and this right here is extremely important. Configuration last modified by the 192.168.253. Okay, and it tells you the date, the time, whatever. All right, and the local updater ID is 1.253. So it tells you who just, what was the last time that there was some sort of update or modification done to this particular switch. So this show VTP status command is very important for your certification, for your real world scenarios, because it lets you know. Now here, as far, if you're doing MD5 or traps, or you do any kind of pruning or shaping of your traffic, you can do this. You can put passwords on here. You can see how many VLANs are supported. You can see the version of VTP that you're using. That's fine. But the important things you need to focus on: the configuration revision number, the operating mode, is there a domain name, and the domain name has to be identical. Uppercase, lowercase is case sensitive, okay? Or else you're going to get a VTP domain mismatch, VTP domain mismatch. And then obviously these lines down here, who was the last person that actually updated me? Because that way you'll know which switch is what, okay? So this is what you look at when you're doing your VTP, right? Because VTP, people get it confused with trunking. It has nothing to do with that. The virtual trunking protocol, actually all it does is what you see right here. We can change the operating modes. We can put a domain name with a password. We can shape traffic, all these different things, okay? And it lets us know, what you see highlighted there at the bottom. So that's what we did earlier. Earlier, all we did was put a domain name. And the only reason I did that, so the other two switches I don't have to do that on the lower switches. They can go ahead and just participate all on their own, okay? Because it's going to come down because the ports were trunked. And we'll talk about trunking in a little bit, all right? But that is what VTP does. And if you were to do a show VTP, and you do a question mark, you can look at counters, password, status, right? If you want to look at the status of it, all right, it's going to give you the same thing. All right, that's what we just did. Or show VTP, counters. You want to do that, but they don't really get into things of this nature, okay? The one that you need to know is this, show VTP status, because what you want to look at is what I just told you right now. And again, revision number, operating mode, domain name, and who updated me. All right. This is important. This is important. All right. So let's go to another switch and see what that looks like. All right, let's go to this switch right here. Control C, Control Z, sorry. Show BTP stat. All right, and the same thing. And you can see that this configuration was last modified by 1.253, which is the top switch. Because it's sending the information down about the VLANs. And it's giving you, again, the time and date and what have you. All right, but you can see we're all part of the LAS. But look at the operating mode. It is client mode. So this is why this is very important. You need to understand it. And it also actually, as VLANs go across, it makes sure that they get tagged. They get tagged as well. It maintains the VLAN database. It looks at things going across. So BTP does do a lot of things, all right? Because you can only have one native VLAN. So if your native VLAN on one switch is 1, then on the other one is 1. If your native VLAN is 99, then all native VLANs must be 99. And this maintains it that, hey, we got to make sure that we don't have a native VLAN mismatch. So this also does it as well. This also looks at it as well. Okay? All right, so this is what BTP, the virtual trunking protocol, actually does. Okay? So not to get it confused when we trunk ports, but what this one, which is something completely different, this one is just, again, looking at the things that we just talked about. All right, I'll see you outside the lab. All right, so there you go. There's your BTP trunking protocol. Very important. You saw things we pointed out. All right, we saw things we need to point out. And at the bottom, those IP addresses. Why did those IP addresses show up? Because we put IP addresses on each switch. That's why they're sharing their VLAN database and they're updating each other. All right, so you need to know who was the last one that just updated you. You may get a question like that. So you do the show BTP status, you will see that. Okay, so a very important protocol, not to mention that it maintains the domain names and it maintains the same type of native VLANs going across. Very important, but very easy. Now that you know the secret to BTP. See you in the next one.